We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
I may not be a millionaire. I may not have a brand new Frigidaire. My clothes ain't all fancy, and my car ain't brand new, but there is.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Joy in My House, inspirational reality radio show with a touch of recovery. A reality radio show where nothing is left unsaid.
And no one is this significant who says it.
I'm joined here by my co-host and recording artist, Lolita Robinson.
Hey, how are you?
Welcome to another day of Joy in My House.
I tell you, what's going to be joy around here today. What happened? You almost didn't make it.
I almost didn't make we go live here if you don't know. This is a
Yeah.
live show, ladies and gentlemen. So those of you who are watching are privileged to see what happens in real time. The traffic was backed up on the 105. I live in Orange County, so to drive out here to the studio by LAX to LA Talk Live Studios,
Yeah.
it's a drive.
Was the police officer going
Yes,
in
they
and
were.
out? I don't never figure out why they do that.
Well, I think there was a piece of a car in the middle of the road.
Oh,
so they have to
okay.
stop all the freeway so there's no
Okay.
accident, then move it aside.
That was scary. I tell you, because Van Eric and I we're going to have to take over, until you got here. And Van was saying, what do you guys say at the beginning? I said, I don't know. Let's just...
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
I'm
this
glad
is
you're
Joy
here.
in My House. I want to thank you all, the listeners and viewers, for joining into with us today. I want you to find us on Facebook /Joy in My House. If you become a fan, you'll receive up-to-date lineups of guests and information. You can also find us on Twitter.com /Joy in My House, and you can tweet us with any questions or comments. Our studio line is always open as well. Our studio number is usually on the bottom of our caption. Feel free to call in with any questions or comments for our guests. And last week, we had an amazing show for you last
we
week.
did. That was so much
with
fun.
Dr. Simmons.
Dr. Simmons, that was awesome. You know what? It's just amazing how God has everybody planted in different spots doing their own thing. I didn't know he was over there at West Angeles all those years doing recovery and the community that he's reaching out and how he came on the show, and we were able to give him a plug too.
Yes, and his ministry is called Free in One. He's a drug and alcohol program and author of Understanding Christian Drugs and Alcohol Recovery.
Yeah,
How interesting.
Yeah, really, I liked his workbook too, because then he had different sections on where you could read and do some writing, and you two really hit it off really well.
Yes, coming from an alcohol background, drug out, all that, I connect
I know you do.
Those are my people.
Yeah.
I tend to gravitate towards people who are struggling
Right.
because I think I struggle. I have this walk that I'm doing that constantly gets challenged.
Right.
And I need the support of other people. It's a community.
It is. And you know what? People are always saying that they're happy to be on this show. I just take it for granted that we're here and we're talking to our guests, but I'm glad that we're able to help other ministries out. And I'm looking forward to their event that's coming up.
Yes, they have an event coming up. It's called Celebrate Recovery from Drugs and Alcohol and One with Christ. Free in One is the ministry. Please look at our past archives. You can watch the show of last week. He's going to have some amazing guests. Lou Gossett junior Don D. Van Franklin, which you had the opportunity to read his book.
Yeah, incredible book. My girlfriend Fanny gave it to me for Christmas, and he just has so many practical steps on how to step out. He talked about his struggles and, being the a vice president or president of Columbia Pictures. That's a big deal. So I learned a lot about not being afraid to step out. And I think that's what our show is about. And I think today we're going to talk about other people stepping out in the community and doing what they can.
And this event, Free in One event, is Saturday, May 31st. It is from 8 a.m. to 11. It is at West Angeles Church. I want you to find the more information on westangeles.com for more information. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joy in My House. We got an amazing guest for you today. She's going to come on and talk about her ministry and the things that she's doing for our community. And I want you to join us. I want you to engage with us. Find us on Facebook /Joy in My House. Find us on Twitter. Our studio line is open with any questions and comments. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joy in My House.
Looking forward to this.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Great.
How can I forget you? Where did the sweetness go, Lord? falling from your hand. Am I so far from you, Lord? Is my life in your plan? Where can I run when I feel all alone? Do my words truly reach you high on your throne? Where did your presence go, Lord? Have you pushed me far from your mind? Where did I have to go? Will you smile on me one more time? How can I hope when the lights are growing dim? Love, this pressure is hard, and I feel that my life will cave in. And I heard you say, how can I forget you when you're resting in my hands? How can I forget you? For I want you to know that I love you so. Can you see me? Do you hear me? Lord, I'm nothing apart from you. How can I forget you? Ain't all fancy, and my car ain't brand new, but there is joy in my house.
Hello, I'm Joel Ramirez
And I'm Lolita Robinson Coppage, and welcome to Joy in My House
on LATalkLive.com. Inspirational radio,
with a touch of recovery.
a reality show where nothing is left unsaid,
And no one is insignificant who says it.
exclusively on LATalkLive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream TV.
Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, this is John McClure Jr., aka Simply John, and I would like to invite you to join us on GospelRhythms.com every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our show GospelRhythms.com Talk Live Radio. Join us as we celebrate Christians around the world in all genres of entertainment, as well as highlight interest stories on men and women who are making a difference and impacting their community. So don't forget to tune in to GospelRhythms.com on LA Talk Live. And we're more than just talk. Remember, it's a heaven's party here on earth. So live life, love God.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Joy in My House, inspirational reality radio show with a touch of recovery. I'm joined here by my co-host and author of Shaped by the Master's Hands, Lolita
Hi,
Robinson.
I'm looking forward to today. It's going to be exciting.
It is, and
Yes.
our in-studio guest today, Anna Moses from Hielsa Center.
Yay.
Welcome to the show. You can bring the mic just a little
Yeah, a
closer
little
to you.
closer to your mouth, yeah.
There you go. Well, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Aw.
Good afternoon, Los Angeles and the
All right.
world.
That's right. You guys represent the world. This is really going to be exciting. We got a lot to talk about.
We always like to mention how we met and how we got you on the show. Now, we met you through our publicist, Deborah Hayter, and Norma Duke, who's in the studio as well, who referred us for you to come on the show. So when I get referred guests from Norma and from Deborah, I really trust them. They bring on some amazing guests. So let's get to know you a little bit. Let's find out where you grew up, your family of origin. Where did you grow up?
Thank you, Joel. Thank you for this great opportunity. And I want to extend my highest thanks to Deborah Hader and Norma Dole for this amazing work that they are in our board and they are helping us, first of all.
Yeah, they really do tend to lend out quite a bit of
They
help.
do with a lot of different community events, and they're really giving back.
They
Not
really
just
do
show
give
business.
back,
They're
exactly.
really giving. Show business is great too, but they're giving back to the community. So this is awesome.
They're always a part of some amazing event
Yeah,
that's
they
for the
are.
community. They're not just out there trying to get famous or
Right.
put out a name. They're really participating
Putting
in the
in
community.
causes and things, right?
Because you have an amazing cause that's coming up, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But let's find out, where did you grow up, Anna?
Oh, I'm originally from Armenia,
Okay.
Russian Armenia,
Oh,
as
wow.
people call Soviet
Okay.
Union or former Soviet Union. And
Make sure you talk on the mic.
I am absolutely. I'm in Los Angeles for 12 years now, since 2002, and I love this country.
Well, what
That's-
brought you here?
It's a very long story. But
Well,
I
we
will
got an
try-
hour.
we got an hour.
We want people to get to know you, so we
Yeah.
want to hear your story. I always say, we always talk about having credibility. Now, if we
Right.
come out here and we preach to people, and we tell you guys out there to do this because we say there is no value to it. But when we've gone through struggles in our
Right.
lives, or we've had to make decisions, we create that credibility. So when somebody out there listens to us, if you're listening to us, it's because we've had similar
Yeah,
experiences.
we have. So
I think it's important that
tell
people
us about
know.
you.
Oh,
Growing up, how was growing up?
that was I had a very happy, childhood, and I want to thank my parents. My parents, they both are coming from famous families.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
really?
Before Soviet Union, before the country created or Armenia became a part of Soviet Union. My mom is of Jewish, Russian, and Armenian origin,
Oh,
and
my
my
goodness.
father is.
Wow.
He has Jewish also in his blood, but actually he's Armenian because he's third or fourth generation.
Now you said famous. When you say,
when
were
I
they in
said-
politics or the arts or?
In commerce,
Oh, commerce, okay.
and also nobility.
Okay, I love that.
And my mother's grandfather, he was a Russian army officer
Okay.
who served in Armenia, who met. His wife was Russian Jewish, and they had a daughter who met my mother's grandfather. That's how
Okay.
they came.
All right.
And my father's side, they have a nobility in Armenia.
And what do you mean by that, nobility?
Noble title.
Okay.
They had.
Wow.
I don't exactly know. I don't
Okay.
know how to say it in English. It's very similar to baron.
Oh, okay.
Very similar.
Okay.
Moses is that's the Jewish grandfather of my father,
Okay.
who was Persian Jewish. He came from Iran, but he was married to Armenian lady.
Oh my
and-
goodness, you have so many cultures in one bloodline. I mean, you can
Wow.
identify
Yes.
with everybody.
But I call myself Armenian
Okay.
at this point, and sometimes Russian Armenian. And I received my education, general education in Armenia back in Soviet Union. I would call it Soviet Union because Armenia was a part, was a state of Soviet Union.
Okay.
And
What
then
about siblings? You had brothers and sisters?
yes, I do have I do have two brothers and one sister.
Okay.
And where are they right now?
Only one of my brothers, eldest brother, he's in Russia, in Moscow, and the rest of my
There's a lot
family,
going
my
on over
parents, my sister and brother are in Los Angeles.
Or are you concerned because there's a lot? We're not a political show, so we're not going to go into that. But are you concerned about what's going on with Russia? And are they, you know?
At this point, yes, Russia is one of developing countries, but one of the powerful countries in the world. And there are many things I can agree in
Right.
politics, and I
Okay.
can disagree.
Right.
However, don't forget that I have Russian blood. And,
There you go.
Anyway, I love Russia.
There you go. Okay.
Well,
very
let me
well
ask you
spoken.
this. I want to ask you, what's one of the earliest memories you can remember of growing up over there?
Joel, can you be a little specific?
Yeah.
More
I have
just like
many
a-
memories.
You said happy memories. So
Happy memories.
what
like
kind of
a-
things did you do in Russia?
Yeah.
My family was one of the best families in the world, I would say.
That's so neat. Why? Well, a lot of
We
times
were-
we don't
I-
get that, so we'd like to hear, you
I
know.
lived my childhood and my whole life with my family in peace, in love. I was always the loved all our children were our favorites. Each of us was a favorite of our and is a favorite of our parents or anybody in
That's
our family.
beautiful.
We actually don't have a extended family, very small. My mother had only a brother, and my father nobody, one person. That's why they had 4 children. They decided
see.
to have and
They
to
have a bigger
good,
family. Now, are they
Yes.
still there? Are they still in Russia or?
My
Okay.
uncle, he's still in Russia,
Okay.
in different country of
All
Russia,
right.
different city of Russia. But my brother is in Moscow, in capital.
And where's your mom and dad?
They are here.
They are here.
They
I
are
thought
here
you
in
were
Los
saying
Angeles,
that.
and they are
Good.
proud, very proud citizens of United States.
Oh,
So my sister and my brother.
I'm glad.
Well, let me ask, how was it going to school in Armenia, getting your education? Let's talk a little bit about the educational system and what you went through, because you have an extensive education. So I would love to touch on that. Let's start off with elementary school.
With school. Actually, in our country, there was no elementary school. There was only one school, which was called secondary school. That included elementary, middle, and high school. 10 years of education, extensive education.
I bet.
I was one of the best students, of course.
Okay, what was your
Because of my
favorite?
family.
What was your main subject?
Mathematics.
Wow.
Mathematics.
Really?
That's
Yes,
okay.
And
that's
you're gonna find out why soon.
Wow. I'm having a hard time with my niece
love-
and she's in the 3rd grade. God, man, that's awesome.
That
Yeah.
comes from my father. He's a very bright person,
Okay.
but he has a very good logics. So I guess I got it from my father. And to art and other humanitarian subjects, that's my mom. So I love everything. So I always put all subjects together. For me, that was a global ground of multi-intelligence. That's what I would call. And my father was intelligent person, and my mother too, and they taught us to they always told us, you are the best, you are number one.
Aw.
However, you have to keep your credit, you have to
Aw,
learn, you have
right.
to study, you have to stay. In order to stay there, to be first, you have to work on yourself.
You have to work on it. Well, look at that background would lend credence to you have an international, many diverse cultures that you're dealing with, which I'm sure Joel's going to get to. So all of your training came in handy for what you're doing today, hasn't it?
Yes, that's, I would say,
Yeah.
that was the one that that's something I never define it. I never thought, never analyzed it. But that was something inside me. And when I was at school, secondary school or general education, everything was so small to me. I always wanted out.
You always want something bigger, something more.
bigger. And then
You always wanted
my
to travel?
school,
Did you
yes.
see yourself coming here with United States goal? Did you want to come here?
United States was the least country that I ever dreamed to come.
Really? Okay.
It was too far.
Right.
And don't forget that during Soviet times, because I graduated secondary school at Soviet times, there was a Cold War between Soviet Union
Right.
and
United States.
United States.
Yes.
And believe or not, the propaganda was not good enough
Right.
for us. However, going back to the history books, at the time of my study, I always found better things. And I remember Soviet Union was a country, it had a very good educational system, and Soviet school was always in the world until now. Actually, that was a Russian school, honestly. But that time it was called Soviet school. That was very famous in the world, especially like art, math, sciences, except for political science because of the system, except for economy. The rest, Soviet Union school was very strong, I would say, when I look back.
Okay.
Well, let's talk about the next step. So from
Yeah, how'd you
secondary
get here?
school, you go into university.
Yes.
Let's talk about your university education.
After graduating in Soviet times, people had to have an entry exams in order to get to universities. And that was the first year that economic cybernetics department was open in Armenia.
Say that again.
Wow.
Economic cybernetics. That
What?
was kind of that's economics and mathematics
Okay.
together.
All right.
That was a created new. That time in 1980s, that was a new like system that was created by Americans.
Okay. All right.
And Soviet scientists, they adjusted to Soviet economy.
Okay.
That was a modeling of economic issues
Okay.
mathematically.
I see.
By one word, I would for everybody to understand. However, first school was opened in Moscow in 1981, second in Novosibirsk. Another Russian famous university is in Novosibirsk. They opened the second there.
Just in the 1980s?
1980.
Wow.
Only that department.
That department. Okay, but okay, very good.
No,
So
they had very strong.
Okay, all right.
Both cities, very strong universities. And then in 1984, 85, it was opened in Yerevan, Armenia State University, and I was one of the first entrants or.
How about female?
Students.
I mean, was there a lot of women who applied for? How was the educational system for women?
That was open.
It was
That's
open,
great,
so it's
yes.
never had any kind
Never
of
had,
conflict.
no,
Good,
not at all.
wonderful.
That was open for everybody, and there was a very big competition. Like,
And that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah,
How was
what-
the competition? It seems like you were very educational motivated. Your parents pushed you to excel. Were the other families the same way? Of your peers, other students, were they also motivated and competitive regarding education?
yes, I guess
Wow.
I can say so because Soviet times there was kind of pride or honor in people that if I didn't learn, my son has to learn or my daughter has to study to get a high education. And that time in our environment, if somebody didn't have a formal education, they said don't marry that person
Oh,
because you are
wow.
Wow.
educated. And now I agree in some point with that because that intelligence level, in order to live together, in order to interact everyday life, people have to be at least of similar level.
That's
At least
true.
it's
That is very
culture.
true.
It's not about the what I know
It's
in
not the
mathematics
status,
and
right.
it's not the status, but it's the level.
Yes.
Level of intelligence.
Well, you
That's
have a
what
lot
I
in
would
common
say.
when you do
and
that.
Culture.
So you said you had a lot of competition. It was very strenuous
enter.
to get in.
Yes.
What did you have to go through?
That was I would say that in my life, first time in my life I worried because there were only 25 seats
Oh,
in the
wow.
university, only
Wow.
25, and we knew that two seats were already occupied by from the preliminary students. That was a kind of Soviet protocol that they had to do. So from army, military people returned from military.
Oh, so they already
two
did get the
seats were
seats?
given to them.
Right.
Wow.
So 23 remaining, and for 23 seats, the competition was like almost
How many people?
16 per seat.
Okay.
Oh, and after first exam, I would say almost 200 people got A, the grade A
Wow.
equal to A.
So it was a high
So it
level
was a
High
high
level.
of
See, we should
Very
have
high
that here. I
level.
think we take education for granted here in this country. Most of the other countries that come here, the Asian cultures and what you're explaining with Russia and Armenia, education is foremost.
My
Very
father's
foremost.
he's a physics professor, and I remember when he tells me his story when he was going to high school, he didn't even know about college. One of his professors had to kind of mentor him and say, "What are you doing after high school?" My father was like, "I don't really know." He said, "Go to college, go get an application." If it wasn't for him, my father would
Yeah,
never have gotten
yeah.
that high level of education. Then he liked it and pursued it, so on and so forth. But for you, it was instilled in your
Instilled
family.
in the family to go ahead and go. So tell us what happened. You took the exam and everybody got an A, but 200 people got an A.
Almost 200 people got an A,
Oh.
and after first exam, 3 more places seats were occupied by. There were, if people graduated from secondary school with gold medal, they had the right to have only one exam, to take only one exam. If they got A, then they were enrolled.
Did you have a gold medal?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
And
I
these were
was-
for athletes?
No,
Gold medal?
no. This
gold
is
medal
for education.
for education,
education,
excelling
yes.
in secondary school.
so they
I see.
they didn't have to take another test. They
Yes.
had they.
From the first.
So how many gold medal people did you have?
3.
Hi.
So
no,
they
there were many, but 3 of them
Three,
they
okay.
they
Took the
passed
seats.
this. They took another three seats
Oh,
and 20
gosh.
20 seats
Are left.
and
So
more
you were
than
worried.
200.
You were worried at that point.
More than 200
Okay.
competitors.
Oh
And what
my
happened?
goodness.
Only 19 of us we passed the second exam. I mean with A grade.
Okay.
And we got already
Only 19 of you all passed.
19 of us passed the
Okay.
second exam with the grade A,
Okay.
and we got our seats after second exam because we had two A's.
Good for
And
you.
then one seat remained with over 76, as far as I remember, 76 competitors.
Oh my goodness.
And what happened later, I don't know. I know only one
You were
girl,
probably-
she passed that.
Oh wow. You were probably like, I don't care. I got my seat. I got,
Yes.
you know.
That's how it happened. And everybody in our, in my classmates, for 5 years we studied together. It's not
Okay.
like in United States. It was
More of a
difficult
community.
and mandatory studying. I mean, we had a fixed schedule. We
Mhm.
come 9 o'clock, first class, second class, third class, and everybody.
And this was all mathematicals and economics.
That
This
was
is what you were-
economics and mathematics.
Okay, that's what you were studying.
Yes, first 2 years we studied all humanitarian subjects separately, and
Okay.
math, high mathematics separately. And from third year, that was a combination, like modeling of economic situations, modeling of economic functions, and then it went further and further.
And during this time, did you
Wow.
face any challenges, any
Well,
struggles?
that's a lot.
Just to get all grades A.
Just-
yeah,
through your
really. Were
grade.
you stressed out during that time?
I
Because it
was,
sounds like it's so easy that you just had, but there had to be a lot of internal
No.
stuff that you were going through.
actually it was very hard to study in my especially after third year, because that was new for the whole Soviet Union, and that was the time when Soviet Union was collapsing. That was 1990s. Already started Soviet Union collapse, and all demonstrations in Armenia. We didn't have chance sometimes to go to school normally. However, I studied and I got all my materials from either Moscow. We had relatives in Moscow, or my dad. Even I remember one time he flew to Novosibirsk to bring me books, because
Wow.
people were, they were
a lot of unrest.
yes, one book they were using one after one, and that was not enough. I always had all materials.
And there must have
thanks
been a
to
lot
my
of
parents.
there must have been a lot of pressure on you guys too,
Yes.
because this was a new what do you want to say, a new area, new part of the university. So you guys had to really shine, I bet.
Yes.
But they were looking to you to see how this was going to work.
That's absolutely right. And then we recognized, when I was fourth year student, I understood that there is no Soviet Union anymore. That was 1991.
Wow.
So whatever some subjects we studied stayed in the back, in the past.
So what happened
Wow,
after that?
geez.
So after your fourth year, there's no more Soviet Union. What happens in your life? What decision do you make from there?
I didn't make any decision. I just continued my education. I finished. It was kind of inertially, the education was continuing. Whoever, I mean, there was a big, already disbalance in my classmate, within my classmates. Some of them, they just left the university, and they left Armenia for different countries because
Right.
there was an opportunity. Some icon, some window was open
Right.
for people after closed Soviet Union
Right.
to move, to go here and there, and many people had relatives overseas.
And that was
never
my
saw.
question.
Yeah.
You decided to stay. You decided to finish the last year. What made you decide that? Was it just the foundation of your family there?
First of all, my family, because my family was very tight, and my father and mother, they were very local people. They belonged to their society.
So you were
because
tied
of
into the community.
Yes,
Yes.
and I didn't imagine my life without my parents, without my family. However, and the fourth year, I got married.
I was going to ask you that. Was there so what happened? So were you dating during that
Yes,
time?
I was-
I like the personal touch too.
That was
so
that was very
So-
fast, so I got married.
so where'd you meet him at this university or?
No, I met him in airport.
There you go. Hey,
I met him in the
yeah,
airport.
everything else was so planned, and here,
We were
Yeah.
helping all refugees from Azerbaijan, Armenian refugees from Azerbaijan to come to Armenia. So we were locating them here and there. That was a spare time, and I met him in airport. So he called me several times after that because we were working together, like in team members. And then after 3-4 months, he proposed me, and I said yes.
Wow.
So easy.
What'd your family think? Was your
They-
dad like? Was your dad like? Wait a minute. We put all this into your education. Don't get sidetracked here.
Unfortunately, they didn't say anything bad or against. I wish they said.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
So.
you think one more time and then take a step. But however,
Okay.
they said it's your decision. We will agree. If you feel happy, we agree.
Good for them.
And yes, good for them, and thank to them because of this marriage, I have my son.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
And
What's his name?
His name is Aram.
Aram. Oh,
Yes.
beautiful. How old is he now?
He's 24.
He's 24.
Wow.
God, you look 24. So you look.
Thank you very much.
Well, now I want to get, before we go to our next
Yeah.
commercial break, I do want to touch on what put it on your heart to help these refugees to start giving back, because you were on a track of education, you were on a track of self-perpetuation of you, but then you started giving back. What put it on your heart to start giving back?
It is, Joel, it's very hard to say that. In my family, my grandparents were very kind people, very open, very open. That I guess that came from my family, and they always helped others, especially poor. In Soviet time, there were many poor people around.
Yeah.
Although everybody had houses or apartments, however, they were poor. And my grandparents, both from my grandmothers, from both sides, they were helping separately from each other, independently. They were helping poor people. And I guess that was something inside me. However, last year of my education in Yerevan State University, there was a possibility to get a minor, and my minor was sociology.
Okay. So that's where it
Sociology
There we
comes
and
go.
from.
psychiatry.
Yeah.
And fortunately, my professor, he had a PhD from the American University somewhere in New
Okay.
Jersey or New York. I don't remember now. And he was a fresh mind and
Right.
fresh approach for Yerevan State University, who arrived directly from Moscow. In Moscow University, they didn't like him to continue because he came with Western mentality.
Exactly.
Western social news
influence.
and influence.
The stuff that you would need to be prepared to come over here.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was maybe how to say, that was that's how it started.
Right.
However, I didn't think about it.
You still weren't
Yes,
thinking about coming
still,
here. No.
And what happened when he was doing his lectures, giving his lectures, his classes, and this, oh, this is right, this is right. I knew that. So everything was inside me, but I
Right.
couldn't define it, couldn't analyze, couldn't put together. It wasn't systemized or organized inside me.
Right.
That happened
So
every
he was like
time.
a mentor, like your father was.
And that's what we were talking
yeah.
about.
So he felt like
this
a mentor.
person kind of influenced you and inspired you
Yes.
to think out of the box and to maybe take a chance.
Yes.
Even though you were very brave to take a chance in the
Right.
airport.
Well, sometimes you don't know who you are, and somebody comes, like you said, you had all this going, but there was no reason or rhyme to it. But by this gentleman bringing these concepts to you,
Yes.
then it started to come into focus.
Yes, that's true.
Now from there, you graduate. Tell us the transition from there.
I graduated and I
you're
stayed home
married?
because I was married and I had my son end of the fifth grade, so fifth year of my study. However, I had my son in March and then I graduated in June. And for 3 years, I was sitting home. The only part was I felt happy when my father, he helped me to find a job of a professor in a humanitarian college, professor of economy. So 1 year I was going for 1 year, 2 hours per week, and
How was your husband with your education? I mean,
He
was
was
he
good.
threatened by it at all?
no,
He wasn't. He
he
supported you.
He supported me.
That's important.
He supported
That's
me,
important.
and that was very good. I mean, I liked the students and everything, and then I found out that it's not for me. And in 1994, after 4 years of when my son was 4 years, I could trust somebody else to take care of my son.
Right. That's true. That's true. Yeah.
I started to work in the Ministry of Economy of Armenia.
The minister?
Ministry of
Ministry.
Economy.
Ministry.
It's like
Okay.
the economic department.
Oh, okay, okay.
State Department of Economy.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Let's
all
go
right.
this way.
Okay.
And I started as an international trade policy department as a head economist, head specialist.
And let's talk about the transition from there to now.
Well, during that time, is that when you came over to United States?
During that time, I started to work with international organization, and that was a time when many international organizations, such as International Monetary Fund, World Bank, World Trade Organization, United Nations, different programs started to invest in Armenia, to send grants to Armenia. There was a close relationship with the international community, and each time we had specialist or expert or consultant from overseas, especially from America or Europe. I was so happy because I knew English. My English was enough to communicate with them. That time I was very happy, and I was learning and learning and learning. And then in 1995, there was a program to go and study in UN Institute of Graduate Studies under United Nations in Switzerland, Geneva.
Oh boy, you've been around.
World Trade Organization. And I was only 1 year employee, only for 1 year.
Wow.
I was employed by the ministry, in the Ministry of Economy. I was chosen to go to Switzerland and study there. Two
Wow.
people only from Armenia. That was one of the highest.
What an
So you had to
opportunity.
move?
Grants.
Did you move? What, your husband and the baby come too?
No, we didn't move because
Okay.
my husband had a decent job in Armenia, in the in Armenian
Okay.
government. He was working with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, so I couldn't move. I mean, the family did not
So you went.
move. So I went there. It was close. It was Europe, 2.5 hours to
Oh,
Moscow,
okay, so that's
and
not-
2.5
okay.
hours to Yerevan.
That's true. So,
I was
like us
going
commuting,
back
yeah.
back and forth until I graduated. Meantime, I stayed as an employee in Yerevan Ministry of Economy, and then when I you have a question.
We're gonna come back. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. I'm captivated by the story here.
Right.
And if you're out there listening and viewing, I want you to engage with us. If you have any questions or comments, you can call the studio line. It's open. It is 323-473-3100 with any questions or comments for Anna or any of our or ourselves. I want you to engage with us. Find us on Facebook /Join My House. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about her organization, the Hielsa Center here in Glendale. We'll be right back, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. This is
Title
Joy in
that
My
is.
House.
There was a day when he came in a manger as a baby. He didn't have a silver spoon, but he ruled the sun, the stars, and the moon. The prophet turned away, said, "A king in the barn, that's the day. Oh, what's this king gonna do? I'll be the savior of me and you." Huh. And little did they know how God runs his show. He takes the faithful and the few with 2 fish, he fed the multitude. Don't be deceived, 'cause there's a miracle. Clothes ain't all fancy, and my car ain't brand new, but there is joy in my house.
Hello, I'm Joel Ramirez
And I'm Lolita Robinson Coppage, and welcome to Joy in My House
on LATalkLive.com. Inspirational radio,
with a touch of recovery.
a reality show where nothing is left unsaid,
And no one is insignificant who says it.
exclusively on LATalkLive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream TV.
Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, this is John McClure Jr., aka Simply John, and I would like to invite you to join us on GospelRhythms.com every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our show GospelRhythms.com Talk Live Radio. Join us as we celebrate Christians around the world in all genres of entertainment, as well as highlight interest stories on men and women who are making a difference and impacting their community. So don't forget to tune in to GospelRhythms.com on LA Talk Live. And we're more than just talk. Remember, it's a heaven's party here on earth. So live life. Love God.
What's up, world? This is Nicolas Cage, inviting you to join us every Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific Time for New Rules Radio. Join us as we lend our social satire to the week's leading topics, including music, fashion, and politics. So don't forget to tune in to New Rules Radio, 7 p.m. Pacific Time, exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio, R&B, Radio Flag, TuneIn Radio, Live 365, AHA Radio, TiVo Radio, and Apple TV Radio. Or just watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Joy in My House, inspirational reality radio show with a touch of recovery. A reality radio show where nothing is left unsaid.
And no one's insignificant. Who says it? I'm chewing on candy, so excuse me.
Joined here by my co-host and recording artist Lolita Robinson, and
Hi,
author
I'm
of
really,
Shaped
you
by the
know
Master's
what?
Hands.
I am really, really impressed by Anna's story here. You just never know what people go through to get where they are. I think
right.
people think this organization that she's talking about
Just pops
happened,
up,
but
yeah,
it doesn't,
does
does it?
not. Anna, welcome back to the show. Welcome
Thank
back to the show.
Thank you.
We were before we left, we were talking about you transitioning over to America. Why don't
Yeah.
you tell us how you got
How
to the
here.
U.S.?
Okay, I will be very brief because that's a long story. In 1997, I got involved with United Nations UNDP program. When I returned back from my study from Switzerland, I started to work in United Nations, and I was a UN staff, not Armenian representation staff, but UN staff. So I had a couple of visits to United States, New York, Washington.
Oh, wow.
And then, however, my heart was in Switzerland. That was my city. That's what I thought, because that was the most international city in the world today.
Really?
Number one. There are many international organizations. However,
Oh.
after working with UN for 2 years, I moved to Switzerland with my son, and I was expecting my husband to join us within a year, and then. After a year, he had a different announcement. He said that he was appointed an Armenian consul in Los Angeles.
Oh,
Oh,
And he said-
wow.
Well, that put a monkey wrench in your plans, huh?
Yes.
Wow.
And he said that this is his chance. He has to go. And I said, okay, go. You will work there, and I will work in Switzerland. I was studying there and working again. And my son was attending one of the best schools, the College de Le Mans.
Oh, boy.
That's number one schools. However, there was a problem. It was a diplomatic ethic that family has to be together because he already accepted the position.
Oh, so you had to be a
After-
part of
yes.
it, you and your son. Oh,
Yes,
that must have been very
and,
hard. You must have been heartbroken.
Fortunately or unfortunately, I moved and I joined my family. My
Was it hard?
husband here.
Were you upset about it? Or?
Kind of. I was upset because I had high paying job. I had 2 jobs in private sector and in World Trade Organization. I was studying without paying any penny in American University. That was a Webster University of Europe, in Geneva, and I lived my high-end life.
Oh, boy.
That was really hard. That took me 6 months, and I had pressure from Armenian ambassador in Geneva that I have to
Go and be a part of
go
your
and be
husband.
part of my husband's mission. And I decided to do that. And I came to United States with my son. Los
So that must
Angeles.
have been a culture shock, was it?
First, yes, kind of cultural shock. However, I had the courage to go as a teacher's assistant in school. And in my opinion, the life in every country starts from the school.
Oh.
From the my son was attending to middle school, and I went as a teacher assistant, as I said, to help my son to get adjusted, to get adopted.
Yeah, how
in
hard
this,
was that
It
for
was
him?
very hard.
It had to been.
Although he knew the language,
Yeah,
he
but
is
still, it's a whole different
fluent
culture.
in 4 languages.
Oh,
However, I had to be with him because completely different environment, completely
Yeah.
different life, different approach, different even language, even English was hard for me to understand. I knew European English, but I didn't know American English.
Right.
That was always hard for me. However,
isn't that funny how you
that
have
was my
you have education, but you also have to have application.
yes.
That's
So
right.
you had a lot of
absolutely.
the education, but now you had to live it out, and that's
Yes.
why we have this show to show people.
Yes, and it was a
Well-
very, very responsible. The other responsible part of me was I was a diplomat's wife. I had to behave. I had to be a part of the community because why Armenia has a small country has a consulate in Los Angeles because there are many Armenians.
Right.
There is a big Armenian community, and I helped my husband and Armenian consulate to be volunteer in Armenian community.
Well,
And
what did they want him to do? To just as a representative to help them get acclimated in the culture, or what was
that
his
was
role?
no consular services and visas and like passport services because
Oh.
this is
What
there
your,
is
your
a
community
difference.
does.
Yes, there is a difference between embassy and consulate.
Right.
Consulate is always a part of embassy. That's about paperwork. That's about documentation. It's not. It's a part of diplomatic mission. However, it's not a diplomatic decision making unit.
Right.
It's more services to Armenian citizens and
Okay.
services to others who want to visit Armenia or to get visas. And plus economic, there was an economic department or investment department that we had to work with.
And that was
community
actually
members.
setting up the
So is
foundation.
this the foundation that you're?
First year of my arrival, I met in one of community events. I met founder and president of Hayasa Cultural Center that time, Dr. Artin Sagarian, who was an internationally intelligent person who fluently spoke six languages.
Jeez.
He was MD and PhD.
Oh wow.
And
He's the founder of Hayasa.
yes, he's the founder of Hayasa
And his
Center.
name again?
His name is Artin Sagarian.
Okay.
He was Artin Sagarian. Unfortunately, in 2009, he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
However, I like the idea, all ideas that he had, and because I was involved in community life of Los Angeles, Armenian community.
Working in the consulate, it set the foundation for you to now take over as president
Yes.
of the center.
Yes, that was one of the main routes how I
Right.
got with Hayasa, and I like everything and the idea, mission statement of Hayasa Center, and I joined Dr. Sagarian. I became an
Well, what is the mission statement?
mission statement that time was only cultural, to organize different cultural programs, events, concerts, lectures, anything to show the world Armenian culture. That was his mission. And because of I was involved with consulate, that was very good for me to be
Right.
involved with. And until the end of my husband's mission, I was a director of Hayasa Center, and Dr. Sagarian was a president, and we organized very nice high-end events together, concerts. Even Hayasa produced a movie
Wow.
in 2002 and 3. And after my husband's mission ended,
So this is just for the Armenian culture, or is
Hayasa initially was created to show Armenian culture to all other diverse communities of
Okay.
Greater Los Angeles and California.
and you help them also to get grants and
As far as I know, Hayasa was self-sufficient
Okay.
organization, self-financed. Dr. Sagarian had money and he invested. He did not. He was the only grantor.
Wow.
Although there were many small sponsors,
Right.
however, he put $1,900,000
Wow.
in Hayasa Center.
okay.
Well, let's talk about Hayasa
Yeah.
Center now.
Yes,
and how
Hayasa
it's-
Center.
And how does
now.
it deal with the military? Because you
Yes.
have this event coming up, right?
In 2009, Dr. Sagarian passed away, and I became a president of Hayasa Center. And gradually, at that time, unfortunately, Hayasa won on zero level, I would say, because doctor was sick. We didn't have since
Right.
2007, and I was studying in continuing my Geneva started university here, just to have the system, United States system.
Right.
And I graduated from the university, Webster University of Irvine. And both were kind of busy, occupied with different things. And Hayasa did not have any activities for 2 years. He passed away, and I took over. And this was a great opportunity for me to realize my not dreams, but what comes from my heart. First of all, to start a global organization, and I have changed the culture. We filed the amendments of the name first, because when you say cultural, it's very specific. So we converted it into Hayasa Center, and I broadened the mission. And because I'm kind of government and international thinking person, I was thinking about the government, how to support the government, how to be supportive, how to get the message
of the United States.
Because although the mission was to show, the initial mission was different, however, originally I'm Armenian, or I'm a Russian Armenian. However, today I am a citizen of United States and proud citizen of United States. And I don't think now that this is small for me. Always I thought that it's small for me. Armenia was small, Russia was small. I had many opportunities to stay and live there. However, I decided to stay here. I did not return back to Armenia or Russia or Switzerland even.
And that leads into what you're doing, what you put together here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's put up the flyer on the show. We're gonna put up the flyer. This is called Salute Our Veterans. This is a ceremonial event on May 24, 2014 at 7. It is at the First Baptist Church of Glendale. For more information, you can go to their website. Tell us a little bit about the event. What does this event entail? You're honoring some of these veterans. Tell us a little bit about the event.
Absolutely. Actually, this is our second activity with veterans, with United States veterans. And when I started, as I said, my new mission, I globalized the mission of Hayasa Center. My first approach to see how veterans or survivors they live, how is their life. I mean, I went to LAVA Medical Center, and immediately after meeting with them, with over 1,800 veterans that live, homeless veterans, upset and disturbed veterans that came back from the army physically, but they could not assimilate or get back to their normal life. They became homeless. And they are upset, they are sick in different ways and depressed. So they live in Los Angeles Veterans Affairs Medical Center. That was very heartbreaking, and I decided to organize something. That was before New Year 2012, and within 20 days we organized our organization with the help of sponsors. We organized New Year celebration for 350 veterans.
Wow, congratulations.
That was
Are you giving
amazing.
back?
That was amazing.
So you're giving back to the veterans? Is this like for their families too? Proceeds? Do they?
This one, that was the only event, New Year
Okay.
celebration
for
dinner
them.
for them.
That's so beautiful.
And now what is happening? Then after my many research of government of United States history, I found out that Memorial Day is not honored nowadays in a right way. When we say Memorial Day, we have to understand that it's not a Veterans Day. Yes, we have to honor veterans. However, it's Memorial Day that initially started during Civil War when South wives they commemorated their deaths, and they decorated their graves, those who slept for their peace, and that was initially Decoration Day called. And then in 1967, if I'm not mistaken, it was announced as a national holiday to remember those who gave their lives.
Right.
Oh, that's
not
beautiful.
veterans, but those who gave their lives.
Well, this is an amazing event. I want you guys to go for ticket information. You can call 818-396-4467, or you call 323-668 1030 for more information. Salute our veterans. It is, once again, it is going to be on May 24th at 7 p.m. at the First Baptist Church of Glendale. I want you to go out and support this event. It is for our veterans. It is on Memorial Day weekend. And I want you to go out and lend your support.
And one other thing. So this is your way of the Armenian culture giving back to the United States, also being a part of the United States. Is that what you were saying earlier?
After amending Kayasa Center's mission, I don't say Armenian culture. We are American organization. This is a California-based organization, and I am American.
Oh, okay. So
originally,
that's how it's all tying in.
And fortunately, I have very good and high-end professionals around me. And right now,
and Gary
Sevani, Gary Sevani, international choreographer, producer, director. He is coordinating this very.
He's awesome too.
This very project, I would say, and basketball wife. Jackie Christie is going to host the evening. She will be the MC, and many other celebrities. They joined us to celebrate.
How about the Kardashian
not
sisters?
Celebrate, but commemorate this event.
How about the Kardashian girls? I like them.
We don't have.
Gary said no. Okay.
You reached out to them, but
I do like them.
We did not get connected with them at this point. However, many other celebrities, valuable people, are with us, and many dignitaries of international level too, because we have from other consulates, like consuls invited, and we have
big deal.
We have local, state, and federal dignitaries to be present in our event. Please remember, it's a commemoration event to memorize those who gave their lives and to salute those who came back, but who gave some but not all. They kept their lives for us.
Anna Moses, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for lending your time.
Thank you.
We're at the end of the show and we're running out of time, but we always like to ask this. The name of the show is called Joy in My House. The premise is the joy that we have no matter our struggles, no matter our challenges, or no matter our praise. What does joy in my house mean to you today in this day and age?
First of all, it's honor for me to be a guest of Joy in My House. This number one. And number two, thank you very much for this great opportunity. First time in Los Angeles, I talked about my life.
Wow.
My past,
so this is
my
an exclusive.
Education. This is an exclusive. Number one
well, we
show.
Care.
Although I was on TV for many years, but I never talked about myself. And you open that pages, that many pages of my life.
You have an amazing
story. Thank you very much.
Very amazing. Thank you.
God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joy in My House. I want you to catch us live every Sunday here on www.latalklive.com. This is Joy in My House. Join us next week. Live on Sunday.
Yeah.
Live on Sunday for our Mother's Day special.
Yes.
It is our Mother's Day special with Tiffany Turner. You're not going to want to miss. This is Joy in My House, ladies and gentlemen. You have a blessed day.
Love you.
The waves are crashing and praising. The trees are swaying in the breezes. The angels guide your way. Keep your faith, it's a